Hey
Okay.
Sarah, thank you so much for joining
Hello.
me today. How are you?
I am well, thank you.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good. I really appreciate you taking some time today to share your experiences about the Mastermind. Um, so, do you want to start by sharing a bit about what you do and where you're from, so people can hear a bit more about you?
Sure. So I am a speech language pathologist and I live just outside of Portland, Oregon in the United States. And I have a small clinic with about 5 therapists, and it's been working very well. And so we decided to open another location in the bigger city close to us, Portland. And we're really excited about that. And so Sean, you've helped us a lot with that.
Tell me a little bit about why you chose to do the program. I know that second site was kind of a big part of it for you, not knowing ex- exactly what you did the first time to make it successful. But was there anything else? Do you want to share a bit more about that?
Yes, I feel like I worked really, really, really hard to get to the point where I'm at. And I kind of feel like there you just learn stuff along the way, but I don't have a background in marketing. I don't have the knowledge that I've realized that I could definitely have somebody guide me through. And since I knew I needed to start kind of from scratch again because I was going into a new market, a new area, and um I just didn't want to do it the same way. And I feel like, Sean, you really spoke to me, and when I did that accelerator course, and just I love the little things that you did that made it doable, right? It
Mhm.
was like, oh, I can do this. This is going to work. It's not overwhelming. There's templates in place. And then you were the one who really just sold it to me, because when we had a moment to talk, I really felt like you would understand me, that we came from kind of a similar type way of thinking. And I loved that, and I felt like you would be able to really keep pushing me along, and I have not been disappointed.
Aw. Did you have any fears or reservations before jumping into the mastermind?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's an investment. It's
Mm.
a financial investment, and it's time. It's definitely an investment in my time. And as a mom of 3 kids in the middle of a pandemic, and homeschooling, right? That's what I expressed that concern to
You
you, is
did.
I don't know if I'll be able to invest this time and really be able to focus on the things that I want to do to get everything out of this that I really want to.
Mm.
And you reassured me that, you know what, we'll just take it at the pace that you need to. And if you need to pause and start again or whatever, that you had that flexibility, and that really calmed my fears. Um, and I think that was the biggest thing, was like, I really want to be able to get as much out of it and put a lot of time and effort into it. And
Mm.
so it's it was just kind of a weird time, but I knew I needed you
Yeah.
at that time too. And it's totally worked out. I mean, obviously there's so much information that you give us
Mhm.
that I know that I can go back and review it, and I've already utilized so much of it, but I
Yeah.
know that I can do more. But I know that I can go back and access that information and continue on my pace.
Yeah. And you came to the end, so we obviously did manage to juggle that time requirement. A lot of people say to me, what you did on that call, like the accelerator was a lot, and I don't know if I can keep that up. I remember saying to you, no, no, no. And I still say to people, it's like the exact opposite, where the accelerator is very full on. The mastermind is kind of like not leisurely, but it's a lot slower. But one of the things I talk about is it only really takes a couple of hours a week. Like, was that your
Mhm.
experience with it?
Yes. Yeah, I think so. And it was laid out very plain, like very clearly, and that we are going to talk about these things on this day at this time. And I work very well under deadlines. And so that was so good that I knew I had to review that information. And it wasn't overwhelming. It was just a task that I remember I was on a plane to Las Vegas, and I had uninterrupted time, and that's when I started making my 250 list.
Yeah.
And that's because I was going to a class or something. And I was like, I know that I have to have this done.
Yeah.
And it was a perfect opportunity. Instead of reading a People magazine, that's what I did.
See, build your business. It's about slotting it in those times that we waste.
Yeah.
Doing things.
And it's totally doable. Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me a bit more about the challenges you were facing in your business before you joined the Mastermind.
Well, I think similar to most people, I had grown to a certain point where I have several employees, but they're part-time, and I wanted to grow more, but they could only give me so many hours. But then I had some pretty consistent referral sources, but I'd always heard, just from a little bit of studying marketing, is that you need to keep working on that, or those referral sources could go away. You need to always, keep diversifying, keep doing something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I felt like I needed to do more, but I wasn't sure what to do. And so that was a little bit overwhelming to me to think, okay, I've been working at this for so long, and I'm also a therapist, and I'm also a mom, and I'm also this, wife. And it just, I thought, what more can I do? And I don't know. I need help. And so that was one of the big things, is not knowing what else, because walking into pediatricians' offices or just calling, you can't get past that. And so I feel like I had tried all of those things, and felt like I was missing something. So that was one of the biggest things as far as marketing. But then there's always all these other things about running a business that I don't know. I'm just a speech pathologist, and so I've had to learn. I just have had to learn all these other things along the way. And I guess I didn't count on getting help with these other little things too. And that has been a huge bonus for me. So
what sort of other little things would you include in that?
Well, about how to manage some of the situations that may come up with my employees,
Mm-hmm.
how to manage my life when it's pulling me away from growing my business, right? Yeah. You've had some really great tips with that. And then just, I'm trying to think what else. I think those were like the biggest ones. And just how, you give a lot of good training from specialists and these experts and stuff, and how to do like presentations and things like that. And so that's been, I didn't count on all of that too.
Yeah. Cool. So what were you hoping when you joined the Mastermind that would be the end result for you sitting where we are now? What that would be, coming up for 6 months since you joined? What were you hoping when you joined would be the result, and is that the result that you see?
I guess my really big goal was to be able to have this second location have as many referrals and as my first location, and to be able to grow past that. Mm-hmm. So I'm on my way, and I feel like I have so many more tools in my toolbox of what to do. Mm-hmm. And so much that I've been able to bring my husband on as my business manager. And so that was kind of an idea that we had. Yeah. And now I feel like it's coming to fruition, and I feel calm about it. Yeah. I've gone through a lot of different emotions with that decision.
We've worked through that.
Yes.
But I really remember,
thing, right?
Yeah, but I really remember that conversation where you were like, oh, we had this like kind of dreamy idea that my husband will quit his job that he hates and come into the business, but I just don't know how we would make that happen, but it would be amazing. And I remember you saying it when I said to you, what would this business look like in 3 or 4 years' time in an ideal world? And we're 6 months down the track, and he's handed his notice in and is on his way. So that's super exciting and something to really be proud of achieving that you're doing.
Yeah. It's really exciting, and he's very excited about it. It's just being part of that and be able to grow it. And so, we've had to work really hard on opening actually working on the clinic. And so we haven't been able to donate as much time to the marketing, but we're just like, that's all we talk about. It's kind of a ridiculous marriage right now, because it's like, we could do this, we could do this, we could do this, because we have so many tools now. Yeah. And so that's exciting to us, because I foresee that it's going to continue. And so we've already started getting referrals. We've already started seeing clients. We're starting to set set schedules up in that Portland location.
Yeah.
And at the same time, the Canby location continues to grow and I keep hiring more people.
Yes.
So yes, we're well on our way.
That's awesome. And do you have, like you just talked about your current location growing and having new referrals, do you know tangible numbers of what it's done to your revenue or how that's changed in the last 6 months, or from a number of clients you're seeing, or any of those kind of numbers?
Well, I'd have to look for really specific numbers, but definitely in the last 6 months, every month has increased in our
Oh,
revenue.
wow.
Yes.
Didn't
And
know that.
so,
That's
and
awesome.
because I know it's been really, really cool to watch. And so I think, being able to grow my team and
Yeah.
growing a really good team, and that's tools that you give us, is like, it's just such a huge part of having the business, right?
Mm.
And knowing that I have that set up, and so that I can keep taking people in, teaching people in. We have a wait list. Then we have, people we're trying to get in, they're just waiting for times to come in for weekly spots.
Yeah.
So that list keeps growing, and so I have to keep hiring speech therapists. So
And
it's a good problem to have.
It is a good problem to have. And some of what I talk with people about is oftentimes without the right marketing, you sort of know you might need a new therapist, but you're not sure if you're going to be able to fill them up. And so it can be quite daunting and scary to think about taking someone on. And a lot of what I talk about the Mastermind creates is this certainty that referrals are going to come in the number they're coming in, as long as you keep taking the actions. And in actual fact, those numbers might grow. And so just the confidence to say we're going to take on a new speech pathologist because I know they'll be full. Has that been a real shift for you too?
It has. And I feel like I've always kind of had this, like, I'm just going to think that this is going to happen, and it's going to happen. But also I had, and inside that thinking was so many fears and so many anxieties that I know that held me back.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would want to do this. And so I'd go do it slowly. But I feel like your confidence in me has just been like, just do it. Just, if you're thinking it, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Right. And so, and it's totally true. It's like, don't think about all those things. You're going to work all those out. All of those issues will work out. You have to just plan, like you said, or think like you are already making that much money. Think like you're already in that position. And obviously that's what you have to do to be able to get to that spot.
Yeah.
And that's what that's why I've been hiring more people, because it's kind of scary, but I always think, Sean says, my husband's tired of hearing that, but I'd say, Sean says we have to plan for, hire for 6 months in advance. Mm-hmm. Hire for, plan for where you're going to be. And I'm like, oh, this is where I want to be. So we have to get to that point.
That's awesome. I love that that's what you're taking. So what impact would you say completing the Mastermind has had on your family life? Like we just spoke, obviously a huge thing is that your husband is now going to be moving out of this role that he's been like quite unhappy in for a while. Because I remember you saying he'd been unhappy for a while when we first met. And I know that from our conversations that's had a huge impact. Has it had other impacts in your family life?
I think so. I think that I've been more from our conversations a little bit more open to giving some tasks out to other people, right? And so as I was mopping the other day and my kids are watching TV, I'm thinking somebody else could be doing this right now, and I could be hanging out with my kids. So that kind of thing, because I don't have a ton of spare time and I wished I did. So that, I think that has impacted my thinking and how to handle my time, and that's helped. But also I think the biggest part is that my husband's going to be able to have more flexibility with his life and be able to be there with our family more. Yeah. And that was our dream. So he's planning, I think the end of May 1st or April 30th, whatever that day is, but it's going to be his last day. So
yay,
coming on board. Yeah,
it's going to be exciting this year for you guys. So what would you say to somebody considering joining the Mastermind?
I would say do it. This is what I wish I would have known 8 years ago when I was originally starting out and kind of working part-time in another job and then trying to grow my business and then having babies and all this. And it's like, I never was able to focus and know what to focus on.
Yeah.
And I wish I would have had this. This would have been just like, it would have taken me off. I could have had like 12 clinics by now.
They say the best
No.
time to plant a tree is 8 years ago, and the second best time is now. So
Oh,
8 years ago would have been great, but right now, in 8 years' time, 12 clinics it'll be.
I don't know about all that, but you know.
Remember, think where you want to go, Sarah.
That's true.
So what surprised you most about the Mastermind? And maybe you've touched on the extra stuff.
Yeah, I think also how easy it is. It really wasn't. It wasn't too hard. It wasn't complicated stuff. I mean, I don't have a hard time like talking with people or anything like that, but I know that some people it is more difficult. And it doesn't, the approach that you have isn't like cold calling people. It's not like that kind of stuff. It's more of using technology to connect with people and build our networks and then reconnect with other people. And I think that has just been like a no-brainer for me. And so I started thinking about, wait a second, I haven't talked to them in a long time. I should connect with them because that's one of the things we've gone over. So that's just one example of, it's surprising how easy it is. It takes a little bit of time, but like we said, it's just here and there, you just fit it in and it becomes just part of
easy it is. That's a great quote.
Use it.
What has been your biggest takeaway now you've completed the program, do you think?
I think the confidence in me has grown. Like it's just been, I don't know, it's been huge. In that thinking, I think that's what it is that the mentality, that just the mindset, right? I've been like, I can do this. I can do this. Sean says I can do this. And you don't even know like how much we need to hear that, especially as women. And you know, there's so many struggles all the time about it's too scary, you know, I have so many responsibilities, and that's out the window. We can do this. And that, I think that has been the biggest part of like, it's just amazing. I am so grateful for that.
Thank you. It makes me so excited.
I know.
So is there anything else you'd like to say about the Mastermind?
I think you know what, I really enjoy it. I look forward to the calls every week. I have made friends with other people, you know, in other countries. I feel like I'm like, hey, I know you. And so we get to I get to text other people, you know, just through that and so it's fun to be able to connect with other people who are working on the same things and maybe in the same type of I don't know, just trying to figure out like, okay, what should we do next? Have you used this? And so it's been a really nice, it's almost like we're networking there too.
Yeah.
And so I look forward to the phone calls too, and just being able to say, hey, I'm really struggling with this, Sean. And then you give some amazing wisdom, just spews out, and then it's okay again.
Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful. Well, it has been such a joy to have you with us, and I love that we're still continuing to work together as well. And I can't wait to see what happens over the next 8 months, the rest of this year, as your husband comes into the business. That's the next big thing. It's going to be huge.
It'll be great.
It will be
awesome.
We will keep working on that mindset.
Yes.
Till the way you're not crossing fingers. It will be fine.
I know.
It's already wonderful. All right, well, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
So
I was gonna.
You just say.
Go ahead. I was just gonna say I never felt like you were out to get my money or anything like that. It was just such a great experience. It continues to be a great experience. You know, that you're legitimately caring about me growing and being happy at home with my life too. So very genuine.
Yeah, that's absolutely my priority for everybody. Like I feel like women, when we support each other to grow, like we all grow together and we all benefit from that. So, and I'm truly, you know, this obviously supports my family, but way before that, I had this passion to support women to be successful in their businesses so that they could be the mums that they want to be, because I had that experience from being made redundant when I was heavily pregnant, and then finding this amazing work-life balance and having my own business that I probably wouldn't have chosen at that point in time. But to know that that's an opportunity for people, and to be able to share that with women, and to help women who have gone down that route thinking that's what they're going to get, and then found that that isn't what they've got at all. In fact, they're working more than they would normally. To be able to help them bring that back to what they were hoping to achieve, like that's the thing that inspires me and gets me out of bed in the morning.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Thank you. Love seeing you guys succeed.